Do you think technology is only required at the initial stage? No, it requires all the stages, but the decision to when is how much is required, what stage is required, is taken earlier. Okay. Now, obviously, as I was saying, you if even if you open a travel agency, you have to make your presence felt and how you're fulfilling the need of customers. So you need technology, you need internet, you need marketing. And you need to plan, and all those requirements done through your technology, which is your computers, your pads, your mobile phones, your cameras, whatever business you are in. It is a part of the show, I would say. So technology is nowadays very much immersed in us, and it goes hand in hand nowadays. It's very very imperative that you have the technology with you right now, because the world is leading where your digital technologies nowadays. Digital, you can say, tourism is it's in practice, very much in practice, at the fingertips of your thumb. You actually can book a ticket to hotel, to fly, to whatnot, to food order, or to Uber, or to hotel accommodation. Everything is there at your palm. So obviously you need to have the technology very much into the business. So, but number one, to decide what technology do I need at this stage, how many of them I need them, how will I use them, who will use them, how much will they use them, would I be needing any electricity or energy to use them, anything that will be, how much cost is involved in using this technology, is there a particular brand, is there any discounts, is there anything which is long term and short term. Things may look very cheaper, but they may not go long term. That's another part that we need to have. So all those decisions in terms of technology needs to be taken at the very first stage when you're making a planning stage. What I'm going to do, there might be some alterations, but this is very important consideration in terms of when you are taking a decision. Now, there are some other aspects that need to be considered when making plans, because an entrepreneur must understand and realize that your business is going to be covering or fulfilling the needs of the customers, right? So if you're doing a business anywhere, you must keep in mind that you must understand and take into account what location are you serving, what organization structure would you be following, and what are your responsibilities towards the destination or the host population or the environment. Because in tourism, this is very very important aspect for us to understand, that what is the destination going through, what is the carrying capacity, what happens to the local population when there's a lot of overcrowding, and how can we save our environment. So all those aspects are going to be discussed a little bit in more detail. Let's take the first one, the location. As an entrepreneur, obviously you have a very vital important role in decision making, to make sure where are you going to have your enterprise or business, where do you want to start and operate. You need to know about the locals. You need to have a lot of considerations when you take this decision, such as you need to understand your personal factors. What are the family conditions, what are the individuals where you're going to work, how are they look like, what are the geographical conditions in terms of how far and close it is, does it fulfill the need of the customers or my clients, how many people are already operating in that area, what are you going to have enough people to work for you if you require, and would you get the raw material that you require for your business all the year round, or it is going to be expensive, cheaper, whatnot. You also must consider the environmental factors that impact your business. Obviously, don't forget the locals and the cultural values and customs. Are you going against the cultural values and customs? Are you fulfilling the custom, or you're in line with the cultural values and customs? I'll give you one example over here. Have you seen the ad of Coca-Cola? I have seen this ad of Coca-Cola. The ad of Coca-Cola in every country differs. Yes, it differs in every country. I don't know about even every state, but every country differs. I still remember I used to sail on the merchant ships, and when I used to see, I have seen this Coca-Cola ad in India, and when I used to see ad in the Gulf countries, so the what's it called, the girl who used to have proper full dresses, so to respect the local. In Saudi Arabia, you can't have your female. You can't have your, what's it called, more of the body parts showing. So they respect the religious requirements. And then I saw the same ad in Australia, it was different. I saw the same ad in US, it was different. Number one, they had local celebrities. Number two, the ad was a bit different, adjusting to the local environment. So that's exactly what you need to do, is in terms of, you have to make sure that you are fulfilling the local values, cultures, and customs. Then you have to understand, what are the conditions of the market? Where am I operating? Am I operating in Asia, Africa, Europe? What, where am I operating? Where will I be operating and moving forward to? Let's say if you're operating in north of India, south of India, east of India, west of India, what are the conditions? What are local laws and taxation requirements working in different states, one state? And what about the local population? Very, very important. The community and the destination of the host population. So is it a lot of people already there, and it's a lot of overcrowding, and people are already, local destination is not happy, and locals are really opposing? Should you be starting something over there, or should you be starting, or this should give you an opportunity to start something which helps locals? Okay. Now then comes very, very important aspect, is political stability. um, I was actually reading um, one of those notes over there, where it was written that in 1975, until 1975, when there was a Vietnam War, the Vietnam was actually into, obviously it was war conditions, so there was hardly any tourism. So after post Vietnam War, the tourism picked up like anything, and in recent last 20-25 years, Vietnam has done such a great job in terms of investment from all over in the world. Now, what does it mean? Till the time there was political instability, Vietnam could not actually grow the tourism. Once there was a stable political situation, the tourism started developing. Now, obviously, as an entrepreneur, you will not like to go and invest somewhere where tourists are not going to come, or my business is not going to flourish. So you need a, obviously, peaceful atmosphere, and you need to be accessibility, that you need to reach over there so that you can do your business. Okay, this is very, very another important factor that we must consider. We are humans, and we work. When we work, we need systems in place, so that it's easier for us to delegate work and get the work done. That means, if you in a business, you need to have a person who can give orders, and then he has certain area of work he works at. Then he has, let's say, a CEO may have two of those directors supporting them. Then maybe after the directors, maybe there will be two head of the department, three head of the departments, who will be heading one department each. And there may be eight supervisors, and there may be, under eight supervisors, there may be 30, 40, 50 people working, right? So there's a hierarchy, or there's a structure. So each person sitting at one position has not just position name, it has got certain responsibilities and duties, and also certain powers to delegate, or take some actions. Now, this is called organization structure. Obviously, it is very important for an entrepreneur to make sure from very beginning to set up the structure, what level, where the decisions will be taken, how will the decision be implemented, and if you are doing by yourself, how you're going to work on. Usually, initially, it is just one man army, or maybe 3 to 5 employees at the maximum. But at the same time, you still need to have a structure in place. Now, because that is very important for accountability, for responsibilities. So obviously, it's, if you look at the tourism as an entrepreneur, it comes us to us as a responsibility to take care of the destination, because that's where we're going to earn our bread and butter. So we must take care of the environment, we must take care of the host population, we must take care of the destination itself. So when there's a healthy relationship between the community and the business, obviously it's a win-win situation for both, and it's friendly environment for any business to grow and prosper. Now, I would like to come back that, and like to say over here in conclusion that when you have all the considerations, an entrepreneur should develop a project report or a business plan. So in a project report and a business plan, it should be descriptive and giving all the details in terms of how the business will operate. There's something very important that we call mission, vision, and value statements that tell us where do you looking at as in the future, what are we doing right now to achieve those long-term objectives, and what are we doing short terms, and obviously how we as an organization behave. Now, what happens is it's not just about aims and objectives that come over here, but we also look at in terms of a business plan. We look at you know estimates, marketing, planning, execution. Lot of things are involved in terms of making a business plan, because that guides us through all the way then when you're doing a business. So what I would like to do now in the end, I like to reiterate what we did in today's session so that we understand and more better that how a business is required in terms of resources are required when you run the show. Okay, the first thing which we understood was the under resource mobilization was the finance, how finance is important, where can you get this finance from, family, friends, financial institutions. But when you get these finances, we must understand that we need to make sure that how much interest rates are there, when are we going to return those finances back, how long, what are the terms and conditions, what are the different taxation laws. So all those conditions in finances we must understand. We also must look at in terms of finances is that where are you picking these finances from, how much, what are the government policy on that, am I going to get some discounts on contingencies, as government supporting me over there, is that what is actually capital structure, what is debt equity ratio. So there's a lot of things that we could do that we saw studied in our financial part of it. Then also we looked at like where could we get those finances. Then we understood about the working capital and investment capital, the capital that we initially invest in plant and machinery equipment, and then the capital that we need for running of day-to-day operations. We look at what are what different rates and how could we repay. Then we understood the next part, which was manpower, that how it is required, when it is required, how do we get it, what are different conditions that will be requiring in terms of managing or asking someone to work for you, and how to have contacts and whatnot. Thirdly, we looked at technology being immersed, as I was saying that nowadays it's all mobile phone, everything is in my hand, that we understood that use of computers, internet and whatnot. Now technology has gone much beyond than an expectations. Then we had to understand, we did understand that how it is important to have the right location and organization structured, and how do we have the responsibilities toward the destination as an entrepreneur. So in the location we looked at that what is the geographic location, what exactly, if how much is the competition going on, and what are the market conditions and the laws and whatnot. But in terms of organization structure, we looked at the hierarchy, we looked at how the powers distributed and decision making which is there when there's a hierarchy. And obviously it comes to the responsibilities. We looked at the, as an entrepreneur, it's a responsibility of us to take care of destination, because this is where we're going to get our the whole business from in terms of tourism. And in the last, it is that a business plan is very much important, and the business plan is going to be the one which is going to do and which is going to bring us overall report, and that report will help us in making decisions, and then that report will help us and as a guide. So thank you so much for today's session, and I like to see you in the next session. Hope you enjoyed the session, and I look forward to into next session. Thank you so much again. Have a good day.